YouTube, my name is Sven. Welcome to the Metal Foundry. ML Soundlab has launched a new amp simulator plugin that also can be used as standalone, a bit like the other products that they made. And this one is based on the ultimate nu metal amplifier, at least according to their mailing campaign. And this is based on the Mesa-Based triple rectifier Rev G. Apparently this is Mikko's own amplifier head that they modeled, and they've built a plugin around this. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a second Mesa-Based rectifier plugin that they made. They also made a dual version a couple of years ago, or at least last year I think. Unfortunately, I've never played this real amplifier in real life, so I cannot judge if it's true to the original one or not. But what I can do is can run together with you through the plugin, test some sounds out. In the end I will let you listen to a mix. Without further ado, let's dig in. Hell yeah! So we go to my screen right now, and as we see here, this is the standard interface that we all know from ML Soundlab, from the Amped series. So this is the faceplate of the amp. You cannot change these buttons, these are not functional, but the LED changes color whenever you change the model of the amp. So actually you have different amp models, but these are actually the channels of the amp. It would be very cool if you would find a way to have a button here to change the channels and so on. But if you want to have that, I suggest you go to the original official Mesa-Based rectifier simulation from IK Multimedia. So we have the different channels. We have the red modern, red vintage, orange modern, orange vintage, and the green clean. And then we have a couple of presets over here. Those vary per amp model. And down here we have just the standard control stack. We have the output, we have the master. So the master, if you want to add some power amp sag, you can, or power amp gain, you can do this with the master button. We have presence, we have treble, middle, bass, and gain, and we have the input volume that you can change as well. There is something, let me make this better. Good, this looks better. So over here we have, of course, a tuner. This is a very welcome addition since a couple of months. This is, I remember the very first version of Amped Roots that I had didn't have a tuner inside. Now this is very helpful to have this inside as well. Then we have the noise gate, compressor, drive, chorus, delay, and reverb on a pedal board. We have the cam sim. The cam sim is actually some kind of impulse response loader that and you can also change the microphone position. You have 4 different mics, and you have 5 different cap models. You can also bypass it if you want to load your own impulse response loader on your DAW, for example, and you can also load your custom IR. So it's a very versatile solution, and you can have an independent setup from the left and the right speaker, so you can also do dual miking off. So you can also do dual miking if you would like to do that. In the MIDI side of things, we have, of course, the possibility to assign MIDI control functions to an external foot switch. And we have the license manager in the end. This switch is to choose between the Vorna amp simulation or the light amp simulation. This would be if you have a weaker computer, you can choose for the light version. So it will be less CPU heavy and so on for the usage. That's enough yapping from my end. Let's just check some tones and play a little bit of riffs, and then let's see how it sounds. I'm using my ESP-EX that I've modded with a new bridge and so on, new tuners, as you can see in my previous video. With the EMG headset, this one is tuned to drop C, and I'm using the Ernie Ball, not even Slinky string set, 1256, so quite tight for lower tunings. And yeah, so some tones. This is the red vintage. Let's go to the amp red modern. There I'm screwing up my own riff. There are some presets like Mikko's triple. Oh yeah, this is very bass heavy. Well, I remember when I was playing with my Boss GT8 at the time, it's a couple of years ago in the beginning, I remember there was also a Mr. Boogie rectifier model inside, and I remember it being very bass heavy. A bit like this indeed. At least from what I remember. Old sound. Gentifier. I'm not even going to try or pretend that I can play gent, but yeah, just some riffing around. Then you have the red vintage. This sounds a bit louder. This is weird because normally on my Mr. Boogie, when I go from the modern to the vintage sound, I lose volume actually. So this is weird. This goes like this. But do you keep the settings when you change, when you, for example, go to the red modern and you go to the old sound and then you go to the red vintage? The tone stack remains the same. Okay. Okay, noise gate is active. So, one of my previous videos there was a comment that the user was having a hissing sound when he was using this plugin. And when you select noise gate, it goes away. Basically, it's acting like an amp, and when there is a high gain setting, when you're pushing the gain throughout this gain stages, you make the noise floor higher, so it'll be noise at a very earlier point in time. So when you select the noise gate, this will go away. Let's add some drive, and I like to go for the conservative settings, being level at max, drive at 0, and sounds very cool, as we could have expected from ML Soundlab. This is a very complete plugin. Not too much bells and whistles, nothing earth-shocking, nothing too crazy about it. For at least for the launching price of 39 euros, this is a very good solution. If you want to have more bells and whistles, or like more fancy layout, more fancy animations and buttons that look more refined, you can always pay more money and go for a neural DSP. There's also a complete different way of working, of thinking plugins and so on. But if you are a beginning guitar player, or want to save your budget and save your money, whatever, you can easily go with Amped amplifier simulation from ML Soundlab. Sounds very cool. And yeah, I think in this day and age of the modern guitar player, it's never been as easy to get a decent amp tone just basically using your laptop, your interface, and a guitar. And of course a plugin. So I'm gonna sound like an old guy now, but if I had this when I was younger and all the knowledge, I would have made much more songs in the past instead of only using my Boss GT8 to record straight into my line in from my PC sound card. Wow, those were the days. Hell yeah, or hell no. Anyway, before I'm gonna let you listen to the mix, I'm gonna give my conclusion. For 59 euros, this is a very complete plugin, as we could expect from ML Soundlab. It's nothing earth-shocking, it's nothing exaggerated, it's just a decent plugin. What you see is what you get. It's a very safe bet. You don't take any risks, and if you wanna have a decent sound, and if you want to be able to play with an iconic amplifier from the past, and you don't have the budget and whatsoever, you can always get the plugin. Just a good plugin for not too much money. What more can you expect? If you want to try it out, you can always try it on the trial version. We will have some cutting, you have some cuts and you have some mute points, and so you'll not be able to record a complete track with it, but at least you can fiddle around with the settings and try how it sounds for yourself, and then you can buy it afterwards, as I did. That's basically all for this video. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section. Let me also know in the comment section what kind of plugin you are using and what you think of the recent releases from ML Soundlab. And if you have any questions for me and whatsoever, just put them down in the comment section and I will answer them directly, or I will make an FAQ video about it if I have enough questions that are interesting enough to answer in a video at least. So that's all for me this week. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content I'm creating on this channel and you want to help me grow my channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video, which will be every single week. If I get my deadline right and if I get everything right the way I want it. So for last week, exceptionally, I did not upload a video because this one wasn't ready, or this one wasn't how I wanted it to be. So I recorded again from scratch. In the meantime, I've reached 1,000 subscribers, so I thank you all for that. Thank you very much. Let's continue growing this channel. And yeah, I look forward to see you again in a future video. Bye.